Good afternoon. Good afternoon. And give us a minute, see if we get going. It's been a while since we used this lead belcher. Gonna get some more paint on these heavy intercessors. Good afternoon. Am I live? Say hello in chat if I'm live. I think I'm live. Looks like it. Yeah. Looks good. Okay. Saturday afternoon anyway. A bit earlier than normal. Next few weeks are going to be a bit crazy because Christmas, right? So evenings and stuff are a bit more difficult. So I'm going to try and stream probably during the day on Saturdays for a few weeks. I prefer streaming when I'm not super tired. I actually should have made a coffee before I started this stream. I'll probably get my like 3 o'clock mid-afternoon coffee crash. But Brad, what's happening? If I start crashing, I'll go get coffee. How are you, Brad? I felt like before 10th edition came out, I get tons of models finished, I get tons of units finished, I was feeling really good about my painting, and then a bunch of those models got made legends, and then I haven't finished hardly anything since 10th edition came out. So I feel like, Eternal Crusader, tell me about your Blood Angels, dude, you started? Eternal Crusader is a Black Templars player that's been watching the channel for ages, and just this week he finally, oh, better mute my phone, sorry. He's working on Dante. Amazing, dude. Are you building him or are you painting him? I got this Dante here that I was working on. I really need to get a bit further forward with him. I was working on a painting video, but it's really hard to get like time during the day, like kid-free time to just set up the cameras and all that and work on the painting video. But yeah, this was my Dante. I put wings on him because why not, huh? I mean, you could paint him black, that'd be cool. And then I've got this guy who's going to lead my boarding patrol. So I need to actually put a transfer on this guy. I'll do that soon, actually. This guy's going to lead my, maybe not my boarding patrol, actually, my combat patrol, that's the one. You think he looks better with the wings? Do you know what? Some people like the wings, some people don't. I guess in canon he doesn't have wings. It's a bit weird that he doesn't have wings, right? And all the Sangre Guard do have wings? Like, how come he didn't get wings? Apparently in the lore, the wings make you more efficient at flying, so unless he's just super efficient, he doesn't need wings, I guess. I mean, I was going to say he is like the oldest living Space Marine after all. Do you guys think that the reveal yesterday was a Blood Angels reveal then? Because they revealed, like, on Warhammer Community, I guess every day on the run up to Christmas, they're doing a reveal. And yesterday they shared, like, an image. I can show you the image later in the stream once I've got a bit of paint done. Good afternoon, Podger, how are you? But they shared an image yesterday in Warhammer Community that definitely looked like a wing. The thing is, it could be a swooping hawk wing, it could be a Sangre Guard wing, it could be Age of Sigmar wing. Like, there's a lot of things the wing could be. But it also could be like the Sanguinor's wing and we're getting a new Sanguinor. How cool would that be? When did they announce, like, when was the release of the Lion? Like, it feels like the Lion came out a while ago. Like, when did the Lion actually go on sale? I think it was around the last Arcs of Omen book, which would have been like then, towards the end of 9th edition. Good afternoon, Two Scoops, how are you? Campbell, what's happening, dude? I was reading an article today as well that actually said, like, if you're in a painting slump, I don't know if I'm necessarily in a painting slump, I'm just busy as shit with having 2 young kids. It said, like, try and paint for 30 minutes every day and try and do something simple every day, and then 30 minutes every day turns into like 2.5 hours in a week if you just do that Monday through Friday. I was like, maybe that's what I need to be doing to get some unit, because on the run up towards the end of 10th edition, I knocked out like 5 units in like 4 weeks or something, which is unheard of for me. And then after that, I've just totally slowed down. I think it's because I've been bouncing around. I haven't had any focus. I want to finish the heavy intercessors because I seem to use them in every game. I also want to finish my impulsor because I think if I finish the impulsor, then I have the whole combat patrol painted. And I think I could do a combat patrol game on the channel with a fully painted combat patrol. That'd be pretty nice. So I've got those to finish, I feel like. Heavy intercessors are pretty easy to paint as well because they're gravis, so they're kind of, you know, they're large and not that intricate. It was June the line came out? Okay, thanks Campbell. Brad thinks if the wing is 40k, you think it's definitely going to be Blood Angels? Wouldn't that be cool if we get some new... I think we could get the Sanguiner back as, like... Obviously we don't have a Primarch, so we need something a Primarch level of strength, and I think it should be the Sanguiner. And I think he should be... Like, I don't think he should just be a Primaris Marine. I think he should be like a Toughness... Like, I think he should be the equivalent of like a Greater Demon. Hey, good afternoon, Marius. You're the one that linked me that article. Well, lunchtime hobby paint. I think it's just because I haven't finished anything that makes me feel like I haven't painted anything, because I have painted stuff. I've painted a bunch of stuff, like half a repulsor, half of a couple of Vindicators, you know, half a Ballistus Dreadnought. It's just because I've always been doing things to get battle ready. And I guess when I'm painting stuff to battle ready, it never feels like I finish anything, whereas like sometimes you just want that feeling of like, hey, you know, I finished these 5 units completely, put the transfers on them, and we're done with them, right? And I guess I haven't been doing that. So it makes me feel like I haven't done anything, but I have done some stuff. I have made a bunch of YouTube videos. That's the killer for me. The style is really similar to this existing Astaroth. Do you know what? Spoiler here, if you haven't read the Astaroth book, the one that came out recently, I was going to say mute me for like 10 seconds, and I'll tell you the spoiler here. Alright, spoiler in 3, 2, 1. In the Astaroth book, his armor got destroyed in like the final chapter. So Astaroth was basically running around naked in the final chapter. His regular firstborn armor, he got eaten by I think he got eaten by was it a sea creature? Like a giant eel or something? Like ate him and destroyed his armor. So Astaroth doesn't have that black set of armor anymore in the lore, it was destroyed. So it would make perfect sense for Astaroth to become Primaris as well, because why give him firstborn armor when he's got, you know, may as well get him through that Rubicon, right? No one dies going through the Rubicon anymore, so may as well just get Astaroth through there. There's the snow up there. Do you know what? There's no snow, but it's icy as hell. It was -7 degrees earlier, it was -5 degrees, and then we had to take my daughter out to a birthday party, and it was about -3 degrees, so I was driving about 20 miles an hour lower than the speed limit. It was very icy. But no snow, just ice. All the grass and everything is frozen. I almost slipped walking to work actually on Friday. I had a flashback of breaking my arm in the ice like last year, so... Eternal Crusader finished Battle Center. I'm going to finish it. I'm going to play it a bit during the Christmas holidays, I think. I enjoy all those strategy 40k games. It's just like, for me it always comes down to when I have a free evening, I usually try and make a YouTube video. I could make... if I had more free time, I'd probably spend that free time making more videos than like... I guess that's the problem with a content creator, is you just... I always have ideas of videos that I want to make, and then I neglect my own hobby and stuff like that to make videos. So you guys tuning into the painting streams is super appreciated. Lets me do both. Thanks for tuning in today. Good afternoon. Good afternoon if you're just tuning in. Marius Scottle is. I'm going to send you all my battle ready models, Marius, and you can finish them up for me. How about that? I've seen your painting on Twitter, and it's amazing, dude. Your blade guard are super cool. I like seeing channel members painting. Do you know what? I wanted to actually say something about channel members, or even just channel watchers, like subscribers. So I was at a GT 2 weeks ago, and right after the GT, I got a message from. Do you know what? I won't say who it was from, but it was somebody that was like, this is a channel member, has been a channel member for probably like 2 years, and they said, "Oh, I was at the GT you were at, but you always look busy, John, so I didn't come and say hello." And I was like, dude, just come say hello. It doesn't matter if I look busy at a GT, or if I'm in the middle of a game, sure, I'm busy. But if I'm just chatting around or having lunch or anything like that, if you're at an event that I'm at, come and say hello, man. It's absolutely fine. Spoiler, I'm a pretty small YouTuber. I don't really get many people coming up and say, "Hey, I watch your videos." So it's cool for me to meet people. It's cool for me to get feedback. If someone says like, "Hey, I really like this video," that's cool. Or even if somebody said, "Hey, I really didn't like this video," that'd also be cool, because then I would be like, okay, you guys didn't like that. I don't want to make content that you guys didn't like. So I just wanted to throw a shout out and say, like, if you ever are a Warhammer event and I'm there, it doesn't matter how busy I am, because I'm sure I can make 1 minute to speak to you, or I can say to you, like, you know, I'm busy right now, at the end of the event, come speak to me and we'll hang out for 5 minutes. Like, it's not a problem. So yeah, just wanted to. I was gonna make a Christmas video at some point, just saying like thanks for all the support this year, and I was gonna mention that as well in the Christmas video. But yeah, like I'm a tiny YouTuber, don't have that many fans, so stay off the skate. Do you know what? I have only skateboarded, Podger, maybe like 3 times this year. I went back on the skateboard like tentatively to see if I could still skateboard, and it was absolutely fine. And I felt like I could just jump back on it. I mean, I feel like the only reason I broke my arm is because of the black ice. I feel pretty confident on a skateboard normally, but just the accident has kind of made me realize that like I'm a father and I've got responsibilities, and maybe I shouldn't be skateboarding around to work if it's dangerous, which arguably it is, I guess. Are you going to check out Road Trader? Is that new game that's coming out like next week? Highland Phoenix has got me on the big TV. He's just got the Christmas tree set up. Nice, Highland Phoenix. It is that time of year, isn't it? We had our first Christmas cocktail last night, me and my wife, and it was only one cocktail. It was only like 100 mils, but I definitely was feeling a little bit. I don't drink alcohol all that much. So I was feeling it a little bit, but you gotta stay warm in Scotland in winter, and one way you can do that is alcohol, that's for sure. So I had a Manhattan last night, which is bourbon, which was actually kind of mild. I'm not entirely sure what else goes into it, but I know that bourbon was the main ingredient. Yeah, let's not skateboard again. I feel like I could go on the skateboard. I feel like I'm comfortable on it. I'm just probably not going on it, just because that accident could have been a lot worse than a broken arm. And yeah, I don't know. If someone says like, "Are you never going to skateboard again?" I feel like I am going to skateboard again. But I think the problem for me is if I skateboard casually, fine. If I skateboard to work, then like I'm going as fast as I can to get to work as quick as I can, and there's traffic and there's, whatever. It's not like I wear a high-vis vest or anything when I skateboard. So skateboarding casually, fine. Skateboarding to work, probably not so much. I mean, I might do it occasionally in the summer, but yeah, I feel like I would want to buy a more a better skateboard, and I don't want to invest the money in it, I guess. Auspex Tax has just put a video out how to collect Blood Angels. How dare he stepping on my toes? I mean, Auspex Tactics does lots of Blood Angel stuff. Do you think? I don't know if you'll. I don't think you'll recommend the Sons of Sanguinius detachment at the moment. But hey, you never know. Do you know what? He's given me a shout out in a couple of videos. He seems like a nice guy. In comes the almighty scooter. Do you know what? I do actually want an electric scooter. I think the thing about those electric like skateboards and electric scooters is they're super cool, but they're also kind of dangerous because the speeds and the acceleration from the electric stuff is kind of crazy. I saw like an electric scooter that goes like 60 miles an hour. I was like, yeah, I would have one, but I think probably I'm just not allowed to go in it. I'm too irresponsible. I push myself and I go too fast. That's probably the main problem here. I get a need for speed, huh? Top gear. Sean says he lists you as a quality Blood Angels channel to go see. See, I told you he's a nice guy. I said to you. He covers everything. I mean, that must be his job now, just covering all the 40k stuff. That must be a thankless job because there's so much stuff to cover. What a nice guy though. Yeah, I know he's given me a shout out before. That's very cool of him. It's nice to be acknowledged by the super giant YouTubers. I'll tell you that. Because like for the first couple of years, like no one really talked to me, and a few people do now talk to me. Like I spoke to Valrak a bunch of times. Like he's Discorded me DMs and stuff like that, showing me his like camera setup for his new battle report room. So I spoke to Valrak a bunch of times, and I don't think I've ever actually spoke to Auspex Tactics, but obviously he's mentioned me a few times now. I guess I got to mention him at some point in throw the shout back, huh? So is anyone working on 40k today? Anyone got some hobby plans? Anyone got some hobby targets? What are they? Let me know. Do you know what? This heavy intercessor has a knife. Why doesn't he get better combat? They just got no AP. That's the one thing I don't like about the heavy intercessors, is I feel like their melee combat is kind of gash. I mean, I guess... yeah, I think it's kind of gash. I did actually see a bunch of subscribers. I didn't know why I got a bunch of new subscribers last night or today, because sometimes I'll go through days where it's like suddenly I have a day where I get no subscribers, and the next day I have 20 subscribers. So probably 20 people from Auspex Tactics came over. How nice is that? Frank says a 60-mile-an-hour scooter. Yeah, I saw a video of a guy with a 60-mile-an-hour scooter on eBay. Not eBay, on YouTube, and he crashed it, and he absolutely smashed up his shoulder because he basically went into the tarmac with his shoulder. I don't really. So you got 60-mile-an-hour forward velocity, and you come off your scooter. I guess that 60-mile-an-hour goes down, so he like absolutely messed up his shoulder. I suppose in a way it was probably similar to like the crash that I had where I broke my arm. But hey, do you know what as well? I'm 40 this year, or I was 40. I was 40 like 2 months ago. And see how much exercise I've had to do for my arm. It's been ridiculous. Like I've had to do physio basically for a whole year. Like I got my cast off in January, and I had to do physio for the whole year, and even now my arm is still, like I'm still doing weights and stuff to try and get my arm back, and the muscle is almost back to where it was. It's ridiculous. It was only like, I was only in cast for 6 weeks. That's all it took, 6 weeks to heal, but the recovery time has been way harder. And yeah, you know, when you watch those videos of like people who lose the use of their legs and they're having to try and walk again, like I can imagine how hard that was, because I had to try like super hard just to get my arm to do a bunch of normal stuff. What do you think of Cybertruck? What the hell is Cybertruck? Marcus says, any advice on yellow primer? I'm using Titan's Imperium Yellow, but it's not sticking. So I'm using White Scar primer first, and then yellow. Yeah, I mean, I typically, if you're going for a light color, I would always probably typically prime in white. Like when I paint the helmets of like my assault intercessors, there's one on screen there. I probably spray it white, or I paint it white, and then I paint the yellow over the top, because yellow's a hard color to get covered with. I've never sprayed yellow. If anyone's sprayed yellow, please tell Marcus what yellow's been good today. Ed's painting Magnus today. Good to know we've got another 1,000 Sun player in the house. Two Scoops is painting up the company heroes, the captain and the lieutenant. Nice. Colourforge yellow, Marcus. Do you know what? I've used the Colourforge paints a couple of times, and they're pretty good. Ed says he's 47 next year and healing takes so long. Yeah, it's kind of crazy, Ed. So I think because my recovery's taken so long, it's just kind of scared me to. Because the skateboard I crashed on was an electric skateboard, right? And it's got like a 15 mile an hour top speed. But obviously, if you're going downhill, you'll get more. You'll probably get closer to 20 mile an hour. And I didn't even come off. I think I came off at less than 10 mile an hour when I broke my arm, because it was like the first corner out of my house. There was black ice, and I didn't realize there was ice. And I came off the skateboard at less than 10 mile an hour. So I think it just scared me. And that if I'd come off at like 20 or something, like I don't know how bad the injury could have been. So it was, you know, like if that first corner hadn't had ice on it, and I just like ridden to work like I normally do, and yeah, it would have been, you know, scary, I guess. It scared me. Cybertruck is a Tesla. Oh yeah, is that what we're talking about? A Cybertruck. I think it's out of my price range. Aren't they like $100,000? And here's the other thing about all these fancy Tesla cars. Don't they just randomly catch fire? I mean, I think Teslas are cool, don't get me wrong. I just don't think with 2 kids I can afford a Tesla. And yeah, I am a little bit worried. You keep seeing on the news, I don't know if you see it in America a lot, but in the UK we quite often see like some random electric car just caught fire. And when those electric cars catch fire randomly, they're usually like sitting idle, or they're sitting parked when they do catch fire. It's like the fire stations can't put those fires out, because it's like some sort of, I don't understand the science behind it, but like it's batteries, right? And the batteries get so hot that they catch fire. So it doesn't really matter if you dump water on top of them to put the fire out. They're still so hot, they just catch fire again. So it's like, that's why when those electric cars go up on fire, they like basically burn themselves into nothingness. They just obliterate themselves. And it does seem to happen quite, I mean, probably, do you know what? It probably only happens like 2 or 3 times a year. So I'm saying it happens quite a lot. Well, there's probably like 1 million electric cars sold every year. So it probably doesn't actually happen quite a lot, but it always gets reported on in the news. So you think it happens quite a lot, you know? So yeah, I'm not 100% sure how I feel about electric cars. I'm still using a diesel. I did skateboard a couple of times this summer when it was dry, and I did skateboard to work one of the times this summer when it was dry. And I did love, I think the highlight of my day was honestly skateboarding to and from work, because the electric skateboard is just so much fun. But I kind of wish that I could go back and with the knowledge that like just be a little bit more cautious once the cold weather steps in, and then never have had the accident and never had to give it up. But hey, I mean, I'm trying to see the accident as a blessing, and that like I'm not going to kill myself on a skateboard or something like. Yes, it's heavy intercessors. What detachment are you planning to run these guys in? I've been running them now for about 10 weeks. One game a week, and then a GT every week. I've been running them in the Gladius detachment, and I think they're awesome. I have these 5 that I've been... Wait, thank you so much. Who's William Carrington? Thank you so much for subscribing, Will. Welcome to the channel, appreciate it. I've been running 5, and I ran 5 to the GT, but just off camera here, look, I'm building my next squad of 5. I was building these last time I was streaming, so I'm going to get... And I put a Deathwatch shoulder pad on this guy. It's the Deathwatch Terminator shoulder pad I put on this guy. So I'm trying to do like some slight conversions to the second squad of heavy intercessors. I haven't decided if I'm running 2, but I do think that they're really good. E-bikes blow up a lot as well, do they? I mean, they probably don't blow up a lot, right? They blow up once every, like I said, they blow like 2 blow up a year, but they're always covered in the news. So you think they blow up a lot. They probably don't. Statistically, they probably blow up very, very little, I imagine, because they will have rigorous safety checks done on them before they're sold, right? So statistically, they don't blow up a lot, but because they always get reported on in the news, like, or someone's post a picture of like a car on fire on Twitter, then you think that they blow up a lot. I think that's what happens with electric cars. Hello Jim, good afternoon. Electric cars always make news when they catch fire, but they catch fire far less than gas cars full of fuel. Exactly. I think it's probably just people hating on the change to electric, I don't know. Or people just always try and get some hate onto Elon Musk, I guess. I think he's already lost plenty of money on Twitter. I don't know if he needs any more hate. It seems like he doesn't know how to operate Twitter, but I guess humans will be the judge of that over the next few years. I haven't found myself using Twitter any more or any less, but I tell you, I definitely haven't found myself paying for Twitter. I think that would be the final step for me. If I had to pay for Twitter, I think I'd just stop using it. I don't use it for enough stuff to feel like it's worth paying for. So 1st of December yesterday, so has everybody put their tree up? Or are you waiting to put your tree up? Do you have a mini you have painted that you were proudest of? Yeah, probably. I don't know if it's the best paint job I've ever done. But I did a Smash Captain conversion where every single part of the mini is from a different kit. So like this conversion, or I guess it's as much a kit bash as a conversion, where every single part of the mini was from a different kit, and that's probably the mini that I'm possibly most proud of. I'll show you. It's not my best paint job, but it's probably the mini I'm most proud of. This guy. So it was a easy to build intercessor body, a Reaver head, a Blood Angels Terminator shoulder pad, a Blood Angels Space Hulk Terminator shield, which I had to snip off the arm to get on, the backpack from the Blood Angels Chaplain, a shoulder pad from a Death Company, a heavy Thunder Hammer from a Deathwatch kit, and that's probably it. So it was like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, and then this little shield. I guess this is off a Terminator. So 7. So 8 different kits made this one mini. And like I said, this was painted probably close to 5 years ago. So I feel like my painting is probably better than what I did on this guy. But in terms of like the most unique guy, he was probably it. It was like, I think he got made, yeah, I'll tell you exactly when he got made. He got made right after they first announced Primaris Marines, I guess, right? So I guess start of 8th edition. So yeah, pretty much, well, possibly closer to 6 years ago. So 6 years ago, as soon as they announced like Primaris Marines, at that point, most Blood Angels players are playing like lots of captains with jump packs with Thunderhammers, right? Because that was kind of the meta, the Smash Captain meta. End of 7th edition, beginning of 8th edition, it was very, very strong, and I was like, I'm sure we're gonna get a I'm sure we're gonna get a Primaris Captain. I'm sure he's gonna get a jump pack and a Thunderhammer. So I'm gonna make one now. I'm gonna convert one up as best I can, and then when that releases, I'll be ready for it. So that was probably one of the first models I made Primaris. Kevin says his wife put the tree up a month ago. Oh my goodness, my wife's putting up the tree right now, man. And I'm sort of looking at it thinking, is it too early? I don't know. I know that the supermarkets have had the Christmas stuff up for forever at this point. But yeah, apart from like maybe my captain or my falchion tank, that character is probably the coolest one that I've done, I feel like. Jim says it looks 6, thank you. Son of Sanguinius 40k, hello. He says it looks very nice. Finally got one of these instead of on demand. Hello Daz, how you doing? Death Company Smash Captain 8th were ludicrously good. I missed them. Yeah, you could get a Smash Captain in 8th edition to do about 50 or 60 damage in a turn, maybe even more. I know that I had a Smash Captain, like a 120 point Smash Captain that killed a Iron Hands Astraeus from full health in one turn. So like it was like toughness 9 or 8 or 9, like 30 wounds, 2-up save. It's like we did 50 damage to it in a turn, and that was I mean, he'd rolled saving throws against that, right? Like 50 damage after he'd rolled a bunch of saves. They were just ludicrous. They were so ludicrous. It was a fun time to play 40k, yeah. I mean, if you run Blood Angels Smash Captains, you could kit them up something hellish. Mephiston was really good at that point as well, like really good. I played Mephiston like every game, and he always killed a bunch of stuff. Kind of miss being able to play Mephiston every game, I'll tell you. 22 days until Christmas, 12 days before, 12 days after. That's the rule, 12 days before, 12 days after? Okay. Then we're way too early downstairs at the moment. Time to petition to make Blood Angels melee good again. I mean, I emailed them. I made a video on Thursday about the email I sent to them. They definitely need to. Well, Blood Angels definitely need an FAQ. I think that's the problem at the moment. Is they badly need an FAQ to fix some of the unit attachments, or the characters getting attached to units, whatever we're calling that. Unit attachments, character attachments. I'm not entirely sure what we're calling that, but Blood Angels need an FAQ. Whether or not they're going to get one before the Codex, I guess we're all waiting. Apparently there might be something in January, but who knows. The new Advent engine. Oh, the what am I trying to call it? The reveal, the Christmas hype, the Christmas teaser. Is that what's live, Marius? Burgosaurus put his tree up the day after Halloween. Are you a sadist? What the hell? I think people are taking this too far. You get the tree up way too early, come on. What's the reason? I mean, I get Christmas is... Will the magic not be lost a little bit because you've had the tree up so darn long, or you don't think so? I hope GW saw the video as well. I don't know if they care enough, or I don't know if they want to fix Blood Angels. I don't know what's going on, man, but I made the video, I sent the email. I feel like it's my duty to do that. I did sort of question sending it. I'm like, should I be specifically calling them out that we need some rule fixes? But I was like, I think the thing that pushed me over the edge was like, on Reddit there was a new player asking. And I think if you've got brand new players asking, hey, how do I attach Dante to this unit? Then you've got a problem, because you don't want it to be difficult. Like, the whole thing they were saying was like they wanted new players to get in and be able to build lists, and for it to be seamless and fun. Well, obviously if new players are struggling, then I feel like I'm in my right to send an email with like, hey, you need to make some fixes here, because people are struggling, new players are struggling. You know, new players don't have the benefit of like, I mean, I imagine new players aren't in Discord or something like that. You know, they're just new players coming into the game, trying to find their way. They're maybe not that invested yet, so it's like, you need to do something to make it sure that new players aren't just going to get lost or confused, or however you want to talk, however you want to. I think Sanguinary Guard attaching to Sanguinary Priest may make them viable at the current points due to the -1 AP. Yeah, I think the -1 AP would help them loads. Because I don't think -2 AP is particularly deadly anymore. And there's no stratagem that makes Sanguinary Guard more deadly, which I think there should be. I mean, you could argue the stratagem that gives them +1 to wound helps in lethal hits. But like, I'm talking about a stratagem that makes like their weapons more hard hitting. I think that's what they need. Or a way to get like sustained or something. I think that their weapons are maybe letting them down a little bit. My thought is like, there's plenty of enemy armies that have really high AP. Blood Angels don't have high AP anymore, and the strength of the Blood Angels used to be the Thunder Hammers had 3 AP, the Sanguinary Guard Swords had like 4 AP. If you like the music, just head over to Fight Bat, like BAT audio on YouTube. You can subscribe to him. He makes all the music that's on my channel pretty much. He gives it away all royalty free. Can't recommend him enough. What a nice guy. Congrats on continuing the winning record, John. Yeah, the game on Wednesday was a bit of a weird one, wasn't it? I did not realise how useful Devastator Centurions could be. Holy crap, those Devastator Centurions killed they killed like 6 Death Shroud in 1 round of shooting. I'm before that game I was like, I don't know if my list can handle this many units or this much of a horde of Nurgle. And then after the game I was like, do you know what, this list handled that really well, and I had a few tricks that I probably played a tiny bit too defensively in that game, but then there's something to be said about, like, I still won the game by like, I think it was like 30 or 40 points. So at a tournament you want to score a little bit higher than the 82 that I scored, but a win, I felt like it was a pretty solid win. Like, it was just because I was so far away ahead of them, I guess. I think I need to work on not, like, I feel like if possibly in one of my, or 2 of my games at the tournament I was a little bit too conservative, and while I did win the games, I probably had like a couple of tanks that were still in full health, or a couple of units that had barely taken any damage, and I could have been a little bit more aggressive to score a little bit more points. So I guess I need to work on that aspect of my game, like make sure that you're scoring points even if you have to give up some units or take damage on some units. Do a little bit better with that. The Sanguinary Guard should be a Blade Guard veteran in melee. Do you need a weapon skill 2 up? Weapon skill 2 up would help them. I think the strength of their weapons is a huge problem though. Don't you? I really dislike the strength of their weapons. Killer says he plays Devastator Centurions once. They did a great deal. Yes, I'm going to be AFK. Chris just ordered 6 Devastator Centurions. Nice, Chris. I'm going to be AFK for like 2 minutes, guys. Please don't go anywhere. Please hit the like button. I will be right back. Oh, did they? Alright, sorry. I needed this. Apparently, right in the middle of the afternoon, this is when I crash. I was just feeling it coming on. You know what, I realised after I got this far with these heavy intercessors that I have not necessarily done a sergeant. Because the sergeant would have I usually do my sergeants with a golden head, right? Like, I've done a bunch of veterans and they usually get golden heads, so I'm thinking, because I haven't done one with a golden head, maybe I'm going to pick one and give him a golden shoulder pad to indicate he's the sergeant. Not that it really matters anymore because, like, the sergeant doesn't get better stats or anything like that. But it would just be consistent with the rest of my army, right? That, like, the sergeant has the golden head. I found the Devastator Centurions this week in the battle report insanely good, Chris. I feel like there could be scope to run two squads of 3 Devastator Centurions. I don't think there's any reason to run them in a squad of 6. But I think in 2 squads of 3 could be very cool. The problem with buying, like, I'm not going to buy any more Firstborn models. Highland Phoenix was talking about that on the stream. He was like, he likes the Devastator Centurions, he just doesn't want to buy any more Firstborn models, and I get it. It's hard to know if it's justifiable to spend a lot of money on Firstborn models, because obviously a lot of them became legends at the start of 10th edition, and I guess people are scared that more of it will become legends. You know, at what point will tactical squads become legends? Will they become legends? Will they not become legends? Are you willing to buy, like, would you be willing to buy tactical squads right now? I mean, tactical squad's a bad example because I kind of think tactical squads are a rubbish unit. Like, I don't think they do very much damage. I don't really know what you attach them to or how you use them. Ed says he's worried about Centurions being put out of service next. Yeah, I mean, that's the only reason I guess I haven't run out to buy more Centurions. It's hard to know. Nobody knows. And I think I was watching The Painting Phase. If you guys have never heard of it, The Painting Phase is a podcast with a bunch of ex-GW employees on there. And one of them is the guy Peachy, who used to do a lot of the painting tutorials. And if you've never seen The Painting Phase, then head over there, and it would be super cool if, like, I would love to get an interview on The Painting Phase. I don't know if I'm too small a YouTuber for them to care about me, but I think if you do head over to The Painting Phase and you've never subscribed, leave them a comment and say that I recommended that you watch their stream, because they're kind of amazing. But what was my point? Lost my point. I've plugged The Painting Phase because they're going to say something that they talked about, and now I've lost my point. They were talking about Finecast this week. Why was that relevant? Can't think. I'll come back to me. Regardless, The Painting Phase is a cool podcast. If you've never heard of it, you should watch it. Get some good insight from like people that worked within GW, and yeah, it's very entertaining. I mean, I've probably watched like 5 or 6 of their episodes at this point. Mary says, for the $4.99 super chat, how do you rate Blade Guard? I'm struggling to fit them in. I actually really do rate Blade Guard, like really highly. Thank you so much for the super chat, Mary. It's super appreciated, especially
Marius Gage
December.
donated £4.99 via super chat. How do you rate Bladder Guard? I'm struggling to see where they fit in.
Yeah, bladder guards are pretty useful. They help my bladder. No, I mean, I do love Blade Guard. Yeah, I was going to say, super chat. No one's got any money in December, so thank you so much for the super chat. It's much appreciated. I think Blade Guard work amazingly well in squads of 3. My personal opinion is 3 Blade Guard are probably the most exciting, I would say exciting thing that you can have for, like, you ever play a game where you need something in the middle of the map, right? Like there's an objective in the middle of the battlefield and you need something on that middle field objective. You don't want to put something too expensive on it because there's a good chance it will get killed, but you need to have some presence in the middle. And when I was doing it, I had my Blade Guard inside Repulsor, yeah, and I would run 2 squads of 3 of them. And like turn 1, I'd basically move the Repulsor forward, whatever it is, 10 inches, disembark the Blade Guard 3, and then move them 6, and basically just have 3 Blade Guard on the center field objective turn 1. And be like, these are my Blade Guard. Even better if I can get some of them into cover, so I can get like a cover save. But I just have the 3 Blade Guards sit in the middle. Now, the Blade Guard are not going to kill anything strong or exciting, but I'll tell you what they will kill: any chaff. Like, because you're going to get 12 attacks, and whenever you fight, you can use the Sword of the Imperium to reroll all your hits. Reroll your hit rolls of 1. So you're going to get like 12 hits on the 3, so you're going to make like 8 hits, and then you're going to reroll the couple of 1s you got to make a couple more hits. So you're going to get like 10 strength 5 -2, 2 damage hits. And if the opponent's going to put some crap on the midfield, like Nurglings, or Cultists, or something, even if they put, like, let's say they're a Space Marine player and they put Intercessors on, 3 Blade Guard are going to eat their way through Intercessors. They're not going to take that much damage either from Intercessors. So my thought with the Blade Guard is play them as 3s, put them on objectives that you need to have some sort of presence on, like tanky presence on, and because they're cheap, they're not going to hurt you that much if they die. They're going to be able to deal with any sort of crap or chaff that the opponent also wants to put on the objectives. and later in the game, let's say that they achieve that, because in the games I played, a lot of times the Blade Guard would achieve that. That would be like an achievement. They would do that successfully in the early game, and then in the late game, because they're in the midfield, they could deploy a teleport homer, they could advance into the opponent's deployment zone or behind enemy lines or engage on all fronts. And quite often people would ignore my 3 Blade Guard because they don't see 3 Blade Guard as much of a threat. They're like, yeah, it's 3 Blade Guard. I was like, yeah, but if you ignore them, they actually potentially going to score me like 20 points doing actions, and then occasionally they'll come forward and they'll actually do some killing as well, because like I said, they'll kill chaff units pretty darn effectively. So I'm actually kind of a big fan of Blade Guard. I only recently dropped them from my list because I guess I just couldn't quite fit them in. But on my stream, I was running this list that had won like 10 games in a row, or 11. I think I played 12 games with it, and I won 11 of them. And that was the strategy: 3 Blade Guard in the repulsor, try and get them into the middle, or try and get them on an edge objective or something. Get them somewhere where they're a nuisance and they're going to score me points. Storm Brother, hello, good evening. Good afternoon. Oh, we got lots of people. We've got 50 people in the house now. How many people have liked the stream? 18. We need 30 more people to hit the like button. I appreciate that. Some people, Kim, are really worried about buying firstborn units. So anything that was not Primaris, people are really worried about buying it because a lot of the stuff that's not Primaris went Legends at the start of the edition, right? So it's a risk. It's like a calculated risk. Do you want to spend £50 on a tank that will potentially go to Legends, or do you want to spend £50 on like a Repulsor Executioner, which, barring some sort of madness, will definitely be there and definitely be playable next edition, right? So it's a really like, and Warhammer is not a cheap hobby. It's not an insignificant amount of money to potentially spend on a tank just to be told, hey, that tank's gonna go Legends. And I think that was what it was. In the Painting Phase podcast, they talked about, they felt like Games Workshop should be more honest about some of the things they were talking about in their Finecast podcast. They were saying like Finecast was a bit of a disaster, and it cost more than the metal miniatures, and it wasn't as nice, and they felt like Games Workshop could have done, people would have been happier if Games Workshop had just been a little bit more honest about it. And I've been trying so hard, like I got a 4-year-old kid, I've been trying so hard to explain to her that like honesty is the best policy, and if you've done something wrong, if you're honest about it, you're not in trouble, but if you lie about it, you are in trouble. And I think it kind of goes for a lot of things in life, and it just, to me, it feels like they just came out and honestly said, right, at the end of 10th edition, these 10 tanks are going to go away to Legends. I think that would be more appreciated, because people would be like, okay, well, do you know what, I'm probably not going to buy those Legends tanks. I'll buy the ones that are definitely going to still be here. And I think that's the thing that frustrated people. And I think that's the thing that frustrated me, because I don't know if you guys remember, right before 10th edition came out, I did a big commission. I did a video about this. I did the biggest commission I've ever done in my life. It was like a £500 Blood Angels commission. It was basically paid by you guys, the channel members. All the money that I paid for that commission was from the super chats and the memberships and everything that you guys do for me, so I super appreciate it. And in my head, I was able to justify it, because the way I see it, or the way that I justify it to myself, was like, I could paint my own models, but if I paint my own models, then I don't have time to make the YouTube videos every week, right? Like, every week I make a YouTube video, and every week it takes me about 10 hours. I'll tell you what video I'm making this week. We're making the first tier list, because I already know what I'm doing this week. On Monday night, me, Mark, and Tony from my podcast are meeting up at 9 o'clock, and we're going to film the first Space Marine tier list video for like infantry, I believe it is. I need to get the photos together for it. But so we're filming the first tier list on Monday night, right? So that'll take me like 3 hours to film. And then I'll need to edit it and video record it, so that will take like 3 hours on Tuesday night. Then I'll need to make a thumbnail and upload it on Wednesday night or something, so that'll take like 2 hours. So that's like 8 hours. So I could have spent 8 hours painting my own models, or I could spend 8 hours making tier lists, which will probably, like, tier list video will probably make me like $50, right? So it was like, because the last tier list, one of the best ones, got like 30,000 views. So that'll make me like $50. So I'll make the tier list, and then so I did this giant Blood Angels commission, cost like £500. I did a Terrax Siege Drill, I did a Vindicator Laser Destroyer, I did an Ironclad Dreadnought, and I did, I think it was 10 Voidsmen at Arms. I think that was the commission. The models cost about $250, and I think the commission cost about the same. Maybe the commission was like $300. It was done by Mike. You've seen Mike, he's been on the channel before. He actually stood in for me when I was on holiday in the summer. Mike did a painting stream for me on my channel, so Mike's a stand-up guy, really nice guy. I've got sticker. I've got a sticker right here of my Warhammer box, you'll see it. Look, this is Mike's studio, Paint It Red Studio. So Mike's a super cool guy. You search Facebook for Paint It Red Studio, you'll find him. So I did this £500 commission. And Mike wasn't painting it to like the highest of standards. He was putting on all the base colours, the way, like, he was copying my base colour scheme, and he was getting it to sort of, I would say, like a Battle Ready 2.0. And then I said to him, I don't want you to finish it. I don't want it varnished. I don't want it finished. I want it so you send it to me, and then I'll make it match my army. So I want it like 80% complete. I want all the easy stuff done, like what I'm doing right now, just blocking in all the base colours, because that takes lots of time, and it's time I don't have because I'm making YouTube videos. So I did that £500 commission, got it all back from Mike, then spent probably like the best part of a month or 2 months of my time finishing it off. Finished off the Terrax Siege Drill. The Terrax Siege Drill is possibly one of the coolest models I have ever done. I went so far as to put transfers on the bottom of it, like on the underside, the side that's probably facing the table, the side you'll probably never see. So I took it to the nth degree. I got to play it like one time, and then it was like, oh, the Terrax Siege Drill is Legends. Okay, that's not good. Oh, the Vindicator Laser Destroyer is Legends. Oh, okay, so that's half the commission has gone Legends. Oh, the Ironclad Dreadnought. The Ironclad Dreadnought is Legends. Okay, that's 3/4 of the commission has gone to Legends. So like, there was honestly like a week or 2 weeks there. I was really upset. I was genuinely upset. Like I'd spent all the time and energy and money, and it was like all those models, everything I've just commissioned is Legends. Like, you have got to be shitting me. Like, how can that? And I mean, it didn't just happen to me, right? It happened to a bunch of other people. Maybe they didn't spend $500 on it, but I mean, they must have spent their own time on it as well. And time is money, as they say. So same thing goes, right? Like, if you spent a lot of time, if you've done all those things, and in some ways, you guys painting them is no different from me making the YouTube video and doing it my way. I'm just doing it a different way, right? So yeah. So people are worried, genuinely worried about buying Firstborn models. There's no two ways about it. It would be brilliant if they would just come out and flat out tell us what Firstborn is going to exist in the future, so people can make informed decisions on, you know, spending their hard-earned money on, well, both the models, and then in my case, if you were going to commission them, that as well, right? So it's understandable. People would like to know that. I think that if there was more transparency there, it would only be a good thing. Like, I can't see anything. It would make people feel like they could trust Games Workshop better. It would make people feel like they wouldn't have the big negative feeling like I got when obviously a bunch of my models became Legends and I just got them ready, or I just spent all the time on them. You know, that was definitely felt like a sore spot or something. So, take it or leave it. That's my opinion, right? Darren says you'll be worried about any Blood Angel specific Firstborn stuff. It's a little bit scary, isn't it? Jim says he's incredibly unhappy with the great Firstborn culling. it's been hard for me to even care about playing 10th edition. I don't like the GW it's going, but I still support you, John. Jim, thanks for the support. Yeah, I mean, I've tried to get over it. And to be fair, I think I probably am over it. Like, I've accepted it. Those models now sit in a... I can tell you exactly where they sit. They sit in the bottom drawer of my cabinet because it's a pain in the arse to get into the bottom drawer because we usually have to move stuff around because there's usually stuff sitting on the floor in my room. So they now sit in the bottom drawer of my cabinet. I guess they're never going to really come out. I'm probably going to hold on to them because I spent a lot of time. Even with the commission, I still spent what I feel like was a lot of time getting them to the stage they are. They look cool. Maybe at some point in the future I'll do some Legends games, but yeah, it's a tough pill to swallow, man, where it's like large chunks of your army are no longer valid, or just doesn't make a whole lot of sense for you to still have these models. Yeah, so my after that, my strategy was very much like I feel like I've only bought Primaris stuff since then. I haven't bought anything else Firstborn. Even if I felt it's been good or competitive, I still very much just focused on buying more Primaris. And I don't have a problem with Primaris Marines, like I said. When this happened, I'd always call back and say, like, you know, I own just about every Primaris kit. Like, at least one of every Primaris kit, maybe even multiples of some of them. So it's not like it's not like I wasn't buying the Primaris models. It wasn't like I was stuck on my roots with the Firstborn. I even bought the Assault Jump Intercessors, which I have no intention of using at the moment, but I bought them because they're a cool new Primaris kit. So let's hope things will improve and we'll get like more clarity on that. I think we might. I guess all we can do is ask and hope, I guess, right? But yeah, if you're still upset about the Firstborn, I guess as much as it sucks, Jim, like you want to keep enjoying the game, you want to keep moving forward, you're gonna have to do what I did and just say, like, the Firstborn, you had a good run, keep the models, you know, upscale them if you can, put them on bigger bases. Like, I don't actually plan on buying any of the Primaris Scouts. I just plan on running my Firstborn Scouts on bigger bases. So if I went to a tournament and someone said those are Firstborn Scouts, they should be Primaris, I'd probably just say, if you're really going to kick up a fuss about that, I'll just go home. I don't, you know, the difference between the size of the Scouts is minor. It's not going to change anything in the game. I'm definitely going to probably use some Firstborn units as Primaris. Marius says it's time to start a Heresy Blood Angels army. Yeah, Marius, if I didn't have a job and 2 kids and a YouTube channel and had actually had time, I would consider it, but because I just don't have the time. But yeah, I know some, I mean, there's a bunch of games that I just don't have time for. I was actually collecting a Rebel Alliance army for Star Wars Legion, and I think it was last Christmas holiday I built a bunch of Star Wars Legion models, right? I think I've had them in this Quality Street tin for like a year. They're just sitting right next to my desk. You know, like I've got a Tauntaun. Well, there's actually 2 Tauntauns there. I've got a bunch of Mandalorians, and I've got the the Hoth. You know when the Rebels are on Hoth? Echo Base or whatever it was called. Start of Empire Strikes Back, the best Star Wars movie. So I had like a whole 10 of my Rebel Alliance army ready to go, but I just haven't really had time to do anything with it. I need like another day in the week, or I need my work boss to give me an extra day off every week. I just need another day, just like another whole day. I'm not asking for much, just like one more day. Just invent a day after Sunday where like I could just have time to paint models and play miniature games, right? Kevin says, I'm in you with the time constraints. Legion Imperialis is calling my name, but I can't make the jump. Yeah, I know. Mark and Tony were both talking about Legion Imperialis. Yeah, I feel like I just can't do it. I'd like to, but I feel like I just can't. I actually had quite a lot of Rebel Alliance troopers. As much as these guys, those three squads there, the Mandalorians, the I guess like the Pathfinders from Echo Base, and the Tauntauns, they were the last three squads I needed to like complete my army. So I have the rest of like a 1,000-point army built and painted to a somewhat reasonable standard. But yeah, it's been sat for a long time with no progress, I guess. Good evening, Foz. I didn't see you jump in there. What did you say? What stung bad? Something stung bad. Seeing land speeders go away was a sad for me. Always seemed like an iconic model. Yeah, and I mean, I'm not sure many people are playing those new land speeders, honestly. Because they're kind of point heavy. Like, they're really expensive. Like, they're the same points as the Gladiator tanks, if not more, right? And it's like land speeders and tanks are supposed to sort of do different roles. So I'm not really... I have that new speeder. I just haven't quite worked out how to run it effectively. I mean, I think the Thunderstrike is the best one, but maybe it's not really for... Like, maybe the synergy with those new... I mean, the synergy from those new speeders comes from shooting. So maybe the new speeders just get played in shooting armies and that's it. Commander, are you getting the new Heresy Jump Marines? I wasn't planning to because I've got 5 Jump Intercessors, and I also, somebody, Bainesy, one of the channel members, sent me like 15 of these 3D printed Primaris jump packs. I put one on a model last time I was streaming, so here's a regular Assault Intercessor with a 3D printed jump pack on him to make him into a Jump Intercessor. This was a Assault Intercessor from, let's say, like the Indomitus box, I think. And I think I got like 40 Assault Intercessors left from the Indomitus box. So I wasn't planning on buying any more Jump Intercessors. I was going to plan on converting up a bunch of the Assault Intercessors that I have done nothing with into Jump Intercessors. I'm really sad that the Jump Intercessors don't get the same options as the Assault Squad. Like, I liked it how our Assault Squads could take Meltaguns. I liked it how our Assault Squads could take Eviscerators. I feel a little bit sad that we've lost that, honestly. Marius, did I answer a question about Blade Guard? You going to try it, or are you thinking of running them another way? Zacharias says he's the minority using the Storm Speeders. Which ones are you using? The Thunderstrike, Zacharias, or what are you using? Oh, I just realised, it's the 2nd of December, but my membership goal on the channel still says November. Well, we made 8 memberships in November. Thank you so much to everybody that became a new member to the channel in November. I was trying to keep the number of memberships I asked for very low. 8 seemed like a reasonable number. Thank you very much for that. I'll try and come up with a number for December. If anyone's got suggestions for the number for December, let's hear it. I feel like 8 or 10 is a reasonably decent number of new membership. I think I'm planning on doing a midnight stream on the 31st as well. So like a a stream where mainly, I was going to say maybe we make a couple of models, but mainly we just drink alcohol because that's what we do on the 31st. That's always a good laugh, right? I've done that last 2 years, and it's been a pretty fun stream. Killer, thanks so much for hanging out. Todd says he wasn't as fancy, just took the old jump packs and slapped them on. I mean, whatever works, Todd, right? We're not judging here. I think I have to start focusing and finishing a couple of units though, so I think I'm probably going to have to finish these heavy intercessors. And I think I probably have to finish up a tank or something, just because I've been jumping around so much. I feel like because I haven't finished anything, it's been affecting me negatively. So I think I gotta focus on a couple of units and finish it up. Just Die for me, thank you so much for subscribing, dude. How are you? Nine for the 9th Legion, 9 memberships for our favourite Legion. That's a good idea. We should do 9 members. I mean, that's what we'll do. We'll aim for 9 memberships in December. I like it. I don't know why, guys. I don't know why I try and think of things. I just need to ask you guys. You guys just got me covered every time. Alright. Let me change that real quick. 9 memberships. Suppose I need to revamp my entire Blood Angels army. Almost have all my Elder in a good state. Yeah, I felt like I had to do a lot of revamping this edition. I'm really glad that I did paint up the aggressors in the previous editions though. Like, that's why I always say that, like, even if a unit is not good right now, it's still worth finishing. It's still worth having it finished, or... Because it seems like every edition, everything changes, right? Like, last edition, nobody wanted to run aggressors. Like, it just wasn't really a thing that anyone did. And now aggressors are good again. Alright, so 9 members for the 9th Legion. Let's do it. Goal amount 9, starting amount 0. 31st 12 2023. Is that right? There is 31 days in this month. The date must be in the format. Okay. Here we go. 9 members for the 9th Legion. There we go. Thanks, guys. Eternal Crusader coming in. You might have missed it by like 1 second, Eternal Crusader. God damn it.
I have awoken.
Kevin, thank you so much. One of them came through. Seeing as you're now collecting Blood Angels, I'm so glad to see that you started collecting Blood Angels, dude. How cool. I was going to say, we need to get DTM collecting Blood Angels as well, and then we'll have all the people that just came... Can I ask a dumb question though? Why, if you don't collect Blood Angels, what's... You watch the Blood Angels channel because... I was going to say, I don't want to sound vain, you like me? Or you watch it because you just want to... You just love 40k content and you want as much of it as you can get. Here we go, Jim coming in with the super chats. Look at this. You'll make it the best stream of the year, man. Thank you so much. 7 members already.
I have awoken.
Merry Christmas, guys. Merry Christmas. Thank you so much. Yes. So the tier lists for 10th edition, I guess we're going to kick them off this week, which is exciting because it'd be good to get the tier lists done.
I have awoken.
Obviously, they will be waiting to do the Blood Angels tier list when the Blood Angels Codex comes. Todd, thank you so much for the gifted as well. If you guys have never had a gifted membership before, there's a setting you need to turn on in YouTube. And I think you click the little... I think you have to go into your YouTube profile, and I think there's a little setting you can change that it's like accept gifted memberships. And it means if you're in the chat in one of the live streams, you can get gifted membership, which lets you into our private Discord room, which is pretty cool. So if you're not in Discord, you should probably get into Discord as well, because we do have a private room where we can discuss just about anything. I try and make sure that I get into that private room like every day, in case anyone has a question. And yeah, if you see me at an event in the future, please come up to me and say hello, because I felt so bad about the one member that had been at the same event at me, and he didn't want to come and say hello to me because he felt like I was busy. The last couple of events I've been at, nobody knows who I am. Like, you know, like there's not that, like Blood Angels is like, we're not a niche faction, but we're only one faction. So if you do see me at an event and you want to say hello, I'd love to put faces to names. I've met a few people that have subscribed to the channel by now. Probably met like 10 people that I'd never met before I started this channel. So it's nice to put faces to names, for me anyway. So please, if you see me at an event, and I'm going to try and get to some more events next year, because my son's actually 2 next week. And I feel like it was like when my daughter was 2, I was able to get to a lot more events, because kids are a lot easier to deal with when they're 2 than when they're 1. Just because they can start communicating with them, I guess, when they're 2 years old, and you can actually have a conversation with them and tell them not to do something. Whereas like when they're 1 year old, they tell them not to do something they don't understand or they don't listen. So much easier for my wife to deal with if I need to go away to a tournament. Campbell says he watches you for the personality and they play melee as well, and it's good advice to be had. That's nice. Yeah, I really was pleased that, I think that's one thing that happened because of this channel is I'd never won best sportsmanship at a tournament event before I started the channel. And then when I started the channel, it's sort of like I had pretty good integrity before anyway. Like, I like to, like, if you're playing against me, you're always going to have, like, it'll be a competitive game, but it'll be a fair game, right? Like, I always felt like I was pretty good integrity. But I think since I started the channel, I've just been trying to be even better to play against at events. And I know that the last event, like every event I go to now, I genuinely make friends with my opponents, because they're just like, we had such a good, fair, fun game. And I was like, that's kind of what I want to advocate the most. As much as I like to win, because I do like to win, I'd be lying to say that I don't like to win games. I also like to just have really fun, fair games where when the game's over, you talk about it and you say, you know, that was great, or this was good, and yeah. I feel like I've got a long way to go on these heavy intercessors, but it feels good to finally put, like, well, this is a second coat down. So up until now I've just been doing like first coats of colours. So this is like a coat of silver, or lead belcher rather, over a good amount of the model. So it'll just start to feel like they're a little bit further on. I think I'm gonna focus on finishing the heavy intercessors. I think if you've not tried heavy intercessors in a game yet, you should proxy something on 40mm bases as heavy intercessors. And use them as like an objective holder in a dangerous area. And be willing to spend a command point on them for like Armor of Contempt. And see how good you think they are at holding objectives. Because I have completely fallen in love with the heavy intercessors. I think they're so good. Mario says, I wasn't hobbying when I started watching. I was looking for someone that focused on one army that I could watch, then paint and play and talk about it, and you're pretty much the only one that did that. Yeah, there's a couple other channels that do one army. There's an Eldar channel that does one army. I can't remember the name of it because Mark watches it, but there's definitely an Eldar player who just does a channel about Eldar. And then there's a guy called the Red Path, who I've never met, but he is a World Eaters player, and he just does a lot of content around playing World Eaters reasonably competitively, I think. And his channel is just called the Red Path. He's from Australia, so But yeah, I think there's a few YouTubers that just do one army. But maybe I'm the biggest now? For one army anyway? I'd really like them to make Sons of Sanguinius competitive again so I could play that though. That would be really nice. In my Vanguard list I'm running 1 Thunder Strike, 2 Hammer Strikes and 2 Squads of Incursors to stack the hits, the wounds and take away cover. That's not a bad idea actually. Do you use a lot of other shooting then in the Vanguard list? Because that's the one thing that scares me about Vanguard detachment is that they've got no way to buff melee. And I feel like with Blood Angels you want to be able to buff melee to do... I mean, like, we are arguably going to do more damage in the melee phase than we are in the shooting phase, I guess, right? Like, that's... I mean, maybe the disparity is more than it's ever been, but normally I feel like you want to do more damage in the shooting phase. Early happy birthday to Michael. Thanks, Foz. Yeah, he's going to be he's going to get way too much sugar and cake. That's probably what's going to happen. Marcus says he watched the channel even though I don't have any Blood Angels. However, the channel is quality even if you're not playing Blood Angels. Marcus, that's very kind. Thank you. You got to become a real member. Well, take the gifted membership while you can. It's good. Scarcast is a Dark Eldar player. I've heard of Scarcast actually, but I don't know if I've watched him. I noticed, is it Wargaming Mickey got 40,000 subscribers yesterday. He was very excited about that. The time pretty fast. Alright, I got about 10 more minutes probably, and then I'm going to have to go in and start helping my wife with the kids and the Christmas tree. I'm going to try and do the Army List show tomorrow night, as standard on a Sunday night. Probably live about 7ish, I think, maybe. Once I know the time, I'll try and set it up let's try and set it up on the stream so you guys can get notifications about it. Do you know what? What's interesting on the YouTube analytics, it tells me that only 5% of people that watch the channel have notifications set up. So if you ever miss the start of a live stream, it's worth checking if your notifications are set to all for the channel. I can show you, it's pretty crazy actually. I didn't believe it. I'll show you. YouTube analytics are mad. Let me see if I can find it again. The reason I was looking at it was I was wondering what percentage of people watch the channel that are unsubscribed, because you can get that. Yeah. This is the... Yeah, I'll show you this. Let me see. How do I turn this on? Yeah, look at this. Subscribers who turn on all notifications for your channel, 10%. Typical on YouTube, 10 to 30%. Subscribers who turn on all notifications for your channel and enabled YouTube notifications, 6%. So I guess a bunch of people haven't got the notifications on. And then watch time from subscribers. So apparently 28% of the people that watch the channel aren't subscribed, which is kind of mad. Like, what do I got to do to get these 28% of people to subscribe? So if you're one of those people watching right now that's unsubscribed, what do I got to do to get you to subscribe? 28% unsubscribed. It seems like a higher number than I would expect, to be honest. But I mean, maybe just people just don't like to fill up their newsfeed with stuff, huh? Some of you guys are OG members, yeah. Maybe someday I'll start an Ultramarines channel. Colin always joked about that. He was like, I'm going to make the Ultramarines Commander channel. I don't even know where like Blood Angels Commander came from. Like, I think I probably went for Commander because I knew about Chapter Master Valric, and I didn't want to be like seeming like I'm trying to play on someone else's name or something, so I came up with something different. Plus, I'm not sure if Chapter Master John has the same ring to it, does it? Mind you, I'm sure Valrak's first name isn't Valrak, right? Man, I hate these, I don't even know what they are, the wires on the back of the Gravis suits. What a pain in the arse they are to paint when they're attached, right? Like, I don't do sub-assemblies, so like trying to get the back sides of some of these wires painted. Like, what are these things? Are they wires? Like, they're... Like, I guess the idea is that they're like power conduits to the armor's legs or something, right? Like, you get to turn them upside down in all sorts of funny angles to try and paint the back of them. What do you use for streaming or capturing videos? So when I started the channel, I used cheap kit. Basically, I had a video camera that I bought for like taking videos of the kids, and it was like a cheap video camera, like a handy cam, like a I actually don't know what it is that. Like a Sony camcorder, you know, that just has like a flip out screen. So I started with that, and I started with my iPhone, because the best thing to do is start with what you've got, and then over time, basically I invested a bunch of, well, pretty much all the money that the channel made into buying a better camera. So now I've got like a capture card, and I've got a Canon camera that costs maybe like $600. But honestly, you could start with, like, if you're just wanting to make videos, start with what you've got, man. Don't rush out and buy things. I think people don't make videos, or people don't make stuff because they create this barrier in their mind that they need, like, oh, well, once I get this new camera, I'll film a video, or like, once I get this new thing, I'll make a video. Like, that's a thing that definitely happens. You know, and I think, like, just you've got a phone. Your phone will take good video. All this screen is this camera right here that's looking down. This is my phone. Let me see if I can put it into the shot. Can I bring it in the shot? Look, there's my phone. It's just like on a tripod. I can move it up or down. I usually keep it up here so my face isn't in the shot, so it's not like blocking my face. But I can it's just my phone on like a £10 stand. The member started called BAC a few years back. Yeah, it's good. It's good. I'm hoping to keep this, like, I guess the channel's 3 years old now, so we're moving into year 4. I'm hoping to. I'm still hoping to grow it more. I'd like to grow it more, and I'd still like to do more content, more types of content. I think it's going to get easier for me because my kids are getting older and they're getting easier to deal with. So I'd like to try and get a boarding actions done. I'd like to try and get some combat patrol done. I just don't have the luxury of a bunch of other YouTubers where, like, their channels are their only endeavor, right? I still got to work 45 hours a week at a day job, which is fine. I genuinely pretty enjoy my job, but yeah, it's just a balancing act for me, I guess. Thanks so much for all the supers and stuff. You started off this month amazing. That's really generous of you guys. Thank you so much. I was thinking about a Repulsor Executioner, honestly. I think if you're playing Gladius, I've only used it one time, but like I was pretty impressed with the D6+4 cannon. Strength 16, and it's heavy, -4 and it's D6 plus 4. I think for the points cost, I think it might be much better than the Gladiator tank. I need to play it a few more times, but I was honestly really impressed with the Repulsor Executioner this week. I might run one to my next event. And if I had to go to another GT tomorrow, I would run it. But I want to get like 10 games with it before the GT and feel like if it's the right choice, right? Sellers, yes, Auspex Tactics apparently gave me a shout out. What a nice guy. That's like his Christmas present to me. I like Auspex Tactics, man. Must admit I don't watch him as much as I used to, but I think that's just because I'm busy and I'm creating my own content now. But I do occasionally, like I do, if there's an obscure rule I can't find, or if I'm going to a GT or something and I don't know what I'm facing, Auspex Tactics is always very useful, isn't he? So he's made he'll have made a video on everything, right? My hope was that I was going to get big enough that Games Workshop would send me the early copies of like the Blood Angels Codex, so I could do like the early video reviews. But I don't know if I believe now, based on what they said on the painting phase, if you want to be an influencer with GW, you need to have 30,000 subscribers, and I'm a fair ways away from 30,000. Kevin was 90% win rate in boarding actions. How do you, I want to know how you play boarding actions in 10th edition. Because I never bought those Arcs of Omen books. So does that mean I can't play it, Kevin? Or what do I need to play boarding actions in 10th edition? Because I really wanted to do a video about boarding actions. Like I wanted to do possibly like a live game of boarding actions and then like a heavily edited version. You know, like Tabletop Tactics do, or Tabletop Titans do those like heavily edited, maybe get a smoke machine or something, like really go to town and do like a lower video, or do a more like, what am I trying to say, like a more thematic battle report for boarding actions. That's what I really wanted to do. But I don't know really where to start in terms of like, what do I need? Because I didn't buy those books, am I screwed, or what do I have to do to get a boarding actions game on the go? Ahsoka's in the house. Ahsoka. Or us. Is it Ahsoka? Ahsoka? Yeah, it looks like it, just spelled a bit differently than the Jedi. Ahsoka says, I'm just starting to play again and I wonder what the best attachments are and what to avoid. I think the best attachment probably, well, if you're looking at win rate, like if you just want the detachment that's got the highest win rate right now, you're probably looking at Gladius or Iron Storm. Vanguard is very good, but is going to take a really high level of skill to play well. So I feel like if you're newer, I feel like I'd probably play Gladius, because Gladius is super flexible and it's got a lot of tools for getting you out of trouble. So like if you mess something up, Gladius is going to have a way that you can get out of it. And yeah, I mean, you could play the Sons of Sanguinius detachment, but again, that's going to be very difficult. So probably Gladius is probably going to be the easiest detachment to get into. If you don't have any clue on how to start building a Gladius list, then you're in luck, because I did a video like last week, Ahsoka, about where I went to a tournament running Gladius, running Blood Angels Gladius army, and I was literally one dice roll away from finishing top 3 out of like 24 people. So Gladius is definitely somewhat competitive. It's kind of easy to play. It's kind of a mixed arms approach in that you'll have both vehicles and infantry, and you'll have both ranged and melee. And I think that's probably the best way to be playing 40k right now, in terms of like if you just want to be competitive. Typically up until last edition, Blood Angels, the best way to play them was like all melee lists, but they are, I would say they're very, very high skill at the moment. Like if you want to play all melee, go for it, but unless you're really confident and really high skill and really on point on all your movement, it's going to be very, very difficult. It's so difficult that even I'm avoiding it. It can be doable, don't get me wrong, it is doable, but it is very difficult. I'm Blood Buffalo. I always want to call you Buffalo Bill. I don't know why the hell. Blood Buffalo, good evening. He says, I've moved away from the Cover Everything channels like Valrak and Auspex. Now you and Moradin Glory for my Blood Angels and Guard. I appreciate that. It's good to be specialised. You know what you're getting, right? If the Blood Angels get more of an identity with the Codex release, we'll have a great opportunity to grow the channel. Well, I'll be showing up every week, Zacharias. Like, I'm as passionate about this channel as I was day one, maybe even more so now, because, you know, day one I didn't know if I could find an audience. Now I know I've got the audience, and I know I can make good content. And I honestly think, I keep saying this, I've been saying it for like 2 years, maybe longer. I honestly think it's only a matter of time before I win a GT. Or, yeah, maybe not win, but like, okay, maybe come second in a GT or something. Like, you know, this GT passed literally one dice roll from finishing top 3. And then the only reason that wasn't second was like a couple of battle points here or there. So, like, I think that if I keep plugging away, and obviously I've won best sportsmanship at a GT since I've had the channel going. So people know I'm a good player, people know I'm an honest player. And then I'm like one step away from actually starting to win something. I think when I win something, then I think it will, you know, I think it will be really, I think that will really help me in terms of like, not necessarily like being any better at the game, because, you know, winning or losing, you're still the same at the game. I just think it might give me a bit more respect. Like, people might think like, okay, this guy could actually win some events. So I'm gonna try. I'm gonna keep trying. Marcus says heavily edited would take too long. Well, the thing is, I would want to do them. I get holidays from work, and quite often in my holidays from my day job, I have a passion for video editing, Marcus. So I quite enjoy doing the video editing. So I feel like I could do a good job of making a video during some sort of holidays from work. Alright, I just realised I said to my wife I'd be streaming for 90 minutes. I'm at 96 minutes. So, I'm pretty much going to use the paint on my palette, and then I'm going to take off. I'll be back tomorrow night for the Armulus show. We'll be filming the tier list this week for, I believe it's infantry, so the tier list will probably come out on Friday. If I get time, I'll make another video this week about obviously my experience at the GT and my games, and I'll try and cover what have we got left to cover. I've got the game against Tau, I've got the game against the 300 guardsmen. Thank you, Cambo. Go for the best Blood Angels in the UK. I'll need to get to more events, right? But I'd like to. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like my list and my scoring at this last event was really, really good. Like really, really good. So I feel like if I could do that again at there's a GT in my town in March. If I could do that in March, then I could actually win that event, or I could get like possibly top 3. Something like that would be cool. So yeah, I think I've got a battle report on Wednesday night. It might be against World Eaters. If Brett's not available, I'll get it. I'll probably ask Miles. And then next week, I think I've potentially got Dakari on the channel again. I've not had Dakari on the channel yet in 10th edition. So should get a battle report against Dakari. So there's a lot more to come from Blood Angels Commander this month. Once we get the first tier list out, I guess it'll only be a matter of time before we get the other ones out. And yeah, I mean, like you said, there's potential for a lot more when Blood Angels against their Codex. And hey, there might even be a new Blood Angels model coming this Christmas based on the sort of hint that Games Workshop showed us yesterday. I'm not 100% sure, but there might be. Imagine how cool that would be. What a great Christmas present. Alright, I gotta bail out. Do you still not rate the Sanguinor? I do rate him. I just wish he was maybe like 120 points rather than 140. because I find him really difficult to fit into a list at 140 points. But, you know, like, he does similar stuff to, like, a Calidus Assassin. The Calidus Assassin is 90 points. Yeah, I mean, like, he's very similar to Calidus Assassin. 50 points is 50 points, man. That's like a whole nother unit, I guess. Alright, I gotta bail out. Leave a like on the stream if you did enjoy this afternoon's streaming. Thank you so much for hanging out, guys. It's nice to see you all. The only gift I want, Felix says, is Fixer Index. I emailed them about that, Felix. I emailed them about that and asked them to fix it. I'm desperate for them to fix it too. It would be really nice, especially because it's now affecting new players, and some new players are struggling. That's us. You spammed them too. Someone asked me actually if I could share that email, so we could all send it to GW, right? So I'll share it on Discord if anyone wants to download it and send it, and GW can get spammed with, hey, these are the fixes we need. We could try, right? We could try. Alright, having a great afternoon, guys. Thanks so much for watching. I'll catch you tomorrow night for the Armulus show. If not, I'll see you Wednesday night for the battle report, and if not, I'll see you Friday for the first tier list, 10th edition. Much appreciated. Thank you so much for all the memberships. Thank you so much for all the likes. Have a great afternoon. See you guys soon. Peace.